You find yourself in the city of Waterdeep. There is activity everywhere. Carts being drawn, street markets shouting their wares. You finally come to a tavern. You take a seat, you order a drink, and that is where our adventure begins. Hello everyone, my name is Elspeth and welcome to the Planeswalker Pantheon. Today, we are opening up 53 packets of Dungeons & Dragons Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, the newest set from Magic the Gathering. It has finally happened. D&D and Magic have finally crossed over to form one beautiful amalgamation of one of my longest loves and one of my newer loves. I've loved Magic for a number of years now. D&D is a relatively new love to me, and I just can't wait to get into it. Anyways, we've got 53 packs here. 50 of them are from pre-ordering the set on Magic Arena. You can get 3 extra packs for entering the code PLAY-DND, so play with a capital P and D&D all in capitals, and you get 3 extra packs of this set. Anyways, enough of that. Let's get into it. We open our first pack. Alright, so we've got our commons right here. We got a dungeon there. We've got our first uncommon, which is a black dragon, an uncommon wildcard, and our rare is an adult gold dragon. So for 3 red and a white, you get a creature dragon. It's a 4/3 flying, lifelink, and haste. Next up. Alright, we've got our commons here. I can't believe Owlbear has made into the set. We've got Hunter's Mark, a very common ranger spell if you ever play D&D. And Magic Missile, very much a classic. And our rare is Dungeon Descent. So it's a land, it is battlefield tap to add colors, 4 untapped to tap an untapped, 4 tap an untapped legendary creature control. Mentioned in the dungeon, activate only as a sorcery. So I'm actually really curious to see how the whole dungeon mechanic works. I get the venture thing, but I want to know how that mechanic works. So we've got all of our commons right here. We've got Tiger Tribe Hunter, an uncommon wildcard, and our rare is Froghemoth. So for 3 and 2 green, you get a creature frog core. It's a 4/4 with trample and haste. Whenever Froghemoth deals combat damage to a player, exile up to that many cards from their graveyard. Put a +1/+1 counter on Froghemoth for each creature card exiled this way. You gain 1 life for each non-creature card exiled this way. Alright, here we go. Got our commons right here. Got a Sudden Insight and a Dungeon Crawler as our uncommons, and our rare is Cave of the Frost Dragon. So it's a land. If you control 2 or more other lands, it enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap it to add white, and for 4 and a white, it becomes a 3/4 white dragon with flying until end of turn. So creature lands are back, and kind of mixed with the fast lands abilities. We've got some our commons here. I love how much flavor they've managed to drop into this set. Targnar Demon Fang Gnoll. So gnolls are now a creature type in Magic. Fey Wild Trickster is also our other uncommon. Gnomes are also in Magic now, as well as dwarves. And our rare is Dancing Sword. So for 1 and a white, you get an equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+1. When an equipped creature dies, you may have Dancing Sword become a 2/1 construct artifact creature with flying and ward 1. If you do, it isn't an equipment, and you can equip it for 1. Alright. We got some more wonderful, wonderful commons here. Ray of Frost, Callan Reclusive Painter, and our uncommons, and our rare is Ochre Jelly. So for X and a green, you get a creature ooze. It's a 0/0. It enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. Split. When it dies, if it had 2 or more +1/+1 counters on it, create a token that's a copy of it at the beginning of the next end step. The token enters the battlefield with half that many +1/+1 counters on it, rounded down. So that's very much a representation of like the oozes in D&D. Got our uncommons here. We've got a brand new Evolving Wilds art. Got Death Piece of Mercule, an uncommon wildcard, and our rare is the Bard class. So for red and a green, you get a enchantment class. So legendary creatures you control enter the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on them. If you pay another red and a green, you can level up to level 2. Legendary spells you cast cost red and green less to cast. This only reduces the amount of colored mana you pay. And for 3 red and a green, whenever you cast a legendary spell, exile the top 2 cards of your library, you may play them this turn. So this is a kind of a combination, I feel, of the old level up mechanic that used to be, I believe, in original Zendikar, as well as the feel of sagas, which is really interesting. Just as a concept, the class cards are really cool to me. Alright, we got some wonderful, wonderful commons here. Got Fly, which is kind of interesting that they sort of upgraded the original jump card, original flying card. I think there was an enchantment at one point. An uncommon wild card, and our rare is Delina Wild Mage. So for 3 and a red, legendary creature Elf Shaman. It's a 3/2. When it attacks you, choose target creature you control, then roll a d20. 1 through 14. Create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of that creature, except it's not legendary, and has exile this creature at the end of combat. From 15 through to 20, you can create one of those tokens, you may roll again. So it's a little bit of a call, I guess, onto wild magic that's in D&D, where whatever you roll, there's a different effect. Got some more commons right here. We have a Keen-eared Sentry, and a Purple Worm, and our rare is a Vorpal Sword. So for a single black in artifact equipment, equip creature gets +2/+0 and has Death Touch. You can equip it for 2 black and for 5 and triple black. Until end of turn, Vorpal Sword gains whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. So it's a callback into a very much a classic D&D weapon right there. We've got some more commons right here. Sudden Insight and Red Dragon are our uncommons, and our rare is Hive of the Eye Tyrant. So this is the black land of this set. Same effect as the white one, except it taps to add black, and for 3 and a black, it becomes a 3/3 Black Beholder with Menace, and whenever this creature attacks, exile target card from defending player's graveyard. Alright, next up. Got some more commons right here. Displace a Beast and 50 Feet of Rope, which is very much a classic inventory item in D&D, are our uncommons, and our rare is another Ochre Jelly. Alright, so here are our uncommons right here. Mimics are in D&D, which is just cool to me. +2 Mace. Some of these names are really great. Got a Dragon's Disciple, and you happen on a Glade. Our uncommons, and our rare is Nadir, Selfless Paladin. So for 2 and a white, you get a legendary creature, Dragon Knight. It's a 3/3 with Vigilance. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, venture into the dungeon. Other creatures you control get +1/+1 as long as you've completed a dungeon. Alright, next up. There are our commons here. We've got Plate Armor as our uncommon, and we've got an uncommon wildcard, and our rare is Dancing Sword again. Alright, let's see what our commons are. We've got Bruno Battlehammer. So if you've ever opened up a player's guide to D&D, especially the 5th edition one, this is Bruno, the Battlehammer, which is the character that is used as the example character when learning how to build a character in D&D, so it's really cool to actually kind of see him in existence. He may have some other history that I'm not aware of, but I've always seen him in the player's guide as to how to build a character. We've also got a Lightfoot Rogue here. Halflings are now creature types as well. This set's brought in so many really cool creature types, I think, and I'm excited for it. And our rare is the Deck of Many Things. This is another classic D&D item. So for 5 mana, you get a legendary artifact. 2 and tap, roll a d20 and subtract the number of cards in your hand. If the result is 0 or less, discard your hand. From 1 to 9, return a card at random from your graveyard to your hand. 10 to 19, you draw 2 cards. And if you hit the natural 20, you put a creature card from any graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. When that creature dies, its owner loses the game. Oh, the Deck of Many Things is so wonderful. Alright, next up, we've got some more wonderful, wonderful, wonderful commons. We have Hammer Pasher, Ruin Seeker, as one of our uncommons, and an uncommon wildcard. And our rare is Minion of the Mighty. So for a single red, you get a creature Kobold. So again, Kobolds are now a thing in Magic. It's a 0/1 with Menace. It has the ability of Pack Tactics. Whenever Minion of the Mighty attacks, if you attacked with creatures with a total power of 6 or greater this combat, you may put a dragon creature card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. So that's nice. It kind of calls back to the whole symbiotic relationship that kobolds and dragons kind of have with each other. Anyways, some more wonderful commons here. We've got a rust monster and a drider as our uncommons. Our rare is a mythic rare wildcard. Got some more commons here. We have Burning Hands, which I believe is another classic wizard spell, and Phaedra Devil's Chosen as our uncommons. Our rare is a rare wildcard. Alright, so we've got some more wonderful commons here. We've got another Tiger Tribe Hunter, and you see a pair of goblins as our uncommons. Our rare is Icing Death, the Frost Titan. So for 2 and 2 white, you get a legendary creature, Dragons are 4/3, with flying and vigilance. When it dies, you create Icing Death Frost Tongue, a legendary white equipment artifact token with equipped creature gets +2/+0. Whenever equipped creature attacks, tap target creature defending player controls, and you can equip it for 2. Alright, next up. So that's one of our mythical dragons in this set. Got some more wonderful commons here. Got the Warlock class and a Reaper's Talisman as our uncommons, and our rare is Oswald Fiddlebender. So for 1 and white, get a legendary creature, Gnome Artificer. It's a 2/2 with magical tinkering. White and tap, sacrifice an artifact, search your library for an artifact card with mana value equal to 1 plus the sacrificed artifact's mana's value. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle, activate it as a sorcery. So it kind of acts as a birthing pod, I guess, for artifacts, which is a bit of an interesting concept that I don't think we've looked into. Alright, so we've got some more commons here. We've got a Grim Wanderer as one of our uncommons, and our rare is Forsworn Paladin. So for 1 black, you get a creature human knight. It's a 1/1 with menace. 1 and a black, tap, pay 1 life, create a treasure token. For 2 and a black, target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. If mana from a treasure was spent to activate this ability, then also it gains Death Touch until end of turn. Alright, so we've got some wonderful commons here. We've got another Phaedra and a Dungeon Crawler, which is kind of a nice little crossover of Gravecaller and the D&D flavour. And our rare is Circle of Dreams Druid. So for triple green, you get an Elf Druid. It's a 2/1. Tap to add green for each creature you control. It's a little bit of a call back to Guy's Cradle, but on a creature, which is real neat. Alright, so we've got some more commons here. We've got Wild Shape and Grim Wanderer as our uncommons. Wild Shape's a nice reference to Druid's ability to just transform into creatures whenever they want. And our rare is actually a mythic. It's Lolth Spider Queen. So for 3 and 2 black, get a legendary planeswalker Lolth. She has 4 loyalty. Whenever a creature you control dies, put a loyalty counter on Lolth Spider Queen. 0, draw a card and you lose 1 life. -3, create 2 2/1 black spider creature tokens with menace and reach. And for -8, you get an emblem with whenever an opponent is dealt combat damage by 1 more creatures you control. If that player lost less than 8 life this turn, they lose life equal to the difference. Alright. Got some more commons here. We've got a Moonblessed Cleric and a Feywild Trickster as our uncommons. And our rare is the Bard class, which I believe we have looked at before. I like the concept of these classes. It's interesting to me. So got some more commons here. We've got an Iron Golem and a Keyline Sentry as our uncommons, and our rare is Volo, Guide to Monsters. Volo is very much a classic character in the Forgotten Realms. So for 2, a green and a blue, you get a legendary creature, Human Wizard. He's a 3/2. Whenever you cast a creature spell that doesn't share a creature type with a creature you control, or a creature card in your graveyard, you copy that spell. So you basically are creating creature tokens of creatures. Alright, next up. We've got some wonderful commons here. We've got a dungeon map and a Drider as our uncommons. And our rare is Hobgoblin Bandit Lord. So for 1 and 2 red, you get a creature Goblin Rogue. It's a 2/3. Other goblins you control get +1/+1. For red and tap, Hobgoblin Bandit Lord deals damage equal to the number of goblins that enter the battlefield under your control this turn to any target. Alright, next up. Got some wonderful commons here. We've got Monk of the Open Hand, an uncommon wildcard, and our rare is Treasure Vault. So it's an artifact land. Oh boy, it's an artifact land. You tap to add colorless, and for 2x and tap, sacrifice the Treasure Vault, you create X treasure tokens. Artifact land. That gives me some trepidation. Anyways, got some more commons right here. This set is so full of flavor you can practically taste it. You've got a Drider and a Temple of the Dragon Queen as our uncommons. Our rare is the Paladin class. So for 1 white, you get enchantment class. Spells your opponents can cast during your turn cost 1 more to cast. For 2 and a white, creatures you control get +1/+1. And whenever you attack until end of turn, target attacking creatures get +1/+1 for each other attacking creature and gains double strike. Cool. I love these cast cards. They're just so flavorful. Alright, so we've got some wonderful commons here. Got a Hunter's Mark and a Blue Dragon, which is something brand new. And our rare is, it's Cave of the Frost Dragon yet again. Alright, so we got some commons here. Our uncommons are critical here, which is what happens when you roll a natural 20. And we've got a Ray of Enfeeblement as our uncommons. Our rare is a Gelatinous Cube. So this is another classic DnD monster. So for 2 and 2 black, you get a creature ooze. It's a 4/3 with Engulf. When it enters the battlefield, exile target non-ooze creature an opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. And you can also has Dissolve. So for X and a black, put target creature card with mana value X exiled with Gelatinous Cube into its owner's graveyard. Cool. That's a lot of flavor there. Like, I'm not even like... D&D is still new to me, but like stuff like that just really hits. Alright, so we've got some uncommons here. Got another Feywild Trickster and a Blink Dog as our uncommons. Our rare is... oh, it's Tiamat! So for 2 and the full Wooburg, you get a legendary creature, Dragon God. It's a 7/7 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, search your library for up to 5 dragon cards not named Tiamat that each have different names, reveal them and put them into your hand, and then shuffle. Yeah, so we got the big mama dragon herself in Tiamat. Alright, so we've got some commons here. We've got Guild Thief and Rally Maneuver as our uncommons. Our rare is Triumphant Adventurer. So for white and a black, you get a creature human knight. It's a 1/1 with Death Touch. As long as it's your turn, the adventurer has first strike. Whenever it attacks, you venture into a dungeon. Alright. Next up, we've got some commons here. We've got a Hulking Bugbear, an uncommon wildcard, and our rare is the Rogue class. So for blue and a black, the first level, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library face down. You may look at it for as long as it remains exiled. For 1 blue and a black, creatures you control have menace. And then for 2 blue and a black, you may play cards exiled with the Rogue class, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any colour to cast those spells. So Rogue classes stealing your opponent's resources and turning it against them. Very much on point. Alright, so we've got some more commons here. Hulking Bugbear and a Fidria Devil's Chosen as our uncommons. Tieflings are now a new creature type. And our rare is a Mythic Rare wildcard. Alright, some more commons here. We've got Displacer Beast and the Cleric class as our uncommons. Our rare is another Cave of the Frost Dragon. I'd like to see some of the other caves though, that'd be really neat. Doing it on the Frost Dragon's great. So we've got some commons right here. We've got a Green Dragon and a Hunter's Mark as our uncommons. Our rare is Dungeon Descent. So it's a land, it enters the battlefield tapped. Tap to add colours. Oh, we've read this before. This is the Venture land. Alright, so some more commons here. We've got a Temple of the Dragon Queen and Skullport Merchant as our uncommons. Our rare is Zorn. So for 2 and a red, you get a creature elemental. It's a 3/2. When you would create 1 or more treasure tokens, and instead create those tokens plus an additional treasure token. So you kind of get 1 extra treasure for each treasure. Or each time you create a treasure, at least. So we got some more commons. Got a black dragon and 50 feet of rope as our uncommons. Our rare is another dancing sword. Alright, got some commons. We've got an uncommon wildcard and Barrowan of Clan Urder as our uncommons. And our rare is the Bard class. Yet again, gosh, I love a good Bard. That's a class I haven't really played a lot in D&D, so I might have to do that next time I play. Got some commons here. You find some prisoners. And Telarasa, I think that's how you pronounce it, Moon Dancer. So who loves a upgrade on a Giant's Primate? Me, I do. And our rare is Hand of Vecna. So for 3 mana, get a legendary artifact equipment. At the beginning of combat on your turn, equip creature or creature you control named Vecna gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. Equip, pay 1 life for each card in your hand, and you can equip it for 2. So Vecna is also a creature token in this set, which is really cool. You might see it later. Got some wonderful commons here. Feywild Trickster and Bag of Holding is back. Remember that thing back when it was a rare in an older core set? I can't remember which one offhand. But now it's an uncommon because, hey, it's D&D. Bag of Holdings are a lot more common here. And our rare is the Monk class. So for white and a blue, you get an enchantment class. The second spell you cast each turn costs 1 less to cast. When you make it to level 2, when this class becomes level 2, return up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. When it becomes level 3, at the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library for as long as it remains exiled. It has you may cast this card from exile as long as you have cast another spell this turn. Alright, next up. Got some commons here. Reaper's Talisman and Phaedra as our uncommons, and our rare is the Loyal Warhound. So for 1 white, you get a creature dog. It's a 3/1 with vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, if an opponent controls more lands than you, search your library for a basic plains card, put it onto the battlefield, and then tap, and then shuffle. Someone called it the... there was a really cool nickname that I saw for this card as a reference to the Knight of the White Orchid. I think it was the Knight of the Bork Orchid or something like that, but it was a really clever nickname that referenced it. Alright, so we got some commons right here. Hulking Bugbear and an uncommon wildcard are our uncommons, and our rare is the Mind Flayer. So for 3 and 2 blue, you get a creature horror. It's a 3/3 with Dominate Monster. When it enters the battlefield, you gain control of target creature for as long as you control the Mind Flayer. That's a very much on point flavor thing for this set. Alright, so we got some commons here. We've got a Green Dragon and Eccentric Apprentice as our uncommons. Our rare is Yuan T. Malison. So for 1 and a blue, get a creature Snake Rogue. It's a 2/1. It can't be blocked as long as it's attacking alone. Whenever Yuan T. Malison deals combat damage to a player, venture into the dungeon. Alright, so we got some more commons here. Our uncommons are a Blink Dog and Fly. And our rare is another Nadir Selfless Paladin, which we've talked about earlier in the show. Got some more commons. We've got a Barbarian class here as one of our commons and Critical Hit. And then our rare is Oswald Fiddlebender again. Alright, so we've got some more commons here. Find the Path is really interesting. Got a Ray of Enfeeblement, a Death Priest and Micrel as our uncommons. Our rare is Lair of the Hydra. So it's a green land for the cycle. It taps for green, and for X in the green until end of turn, it becomes an XX green Hydra creature. It's still a land, and X can't be 0. Got some uncommons here. Got Hunter's Mark and Barbarian class as our uncommons, and our rare is a rare wildcard. Next up, we've got good old Phaedra's Fireball. So hey, I wish they'd put original Fireball in here, but hey, what are you gonna do? So we've got some wonderful commons here, an uncommon wildcard, and a Power of Persuasion as our uncommons. Our rare is another Dancing Sword. I think we've nearly stocked up on our dancing swords right here, folks. Alright. Our commons here, we've got plate armor and fly as our uncommons. Our rare is orb of dragon kind. So for 1 and a red, you get an artifact. 1 and tap, add 2 mana in any combination of colours. Spend this mana to only cast dragon spells or activate abilities of dragons. For red, tap and sacrifice the orb. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may reveal a dragon card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Alright, here are our wonderful commons. We've got a lurking roper and sudden insight as our uncommons. Our rare is another treasure vault. Alright, got some more commons here. Got Shereza, Death's Whisper, and an uncommon wildcard. And our rare is Asmodeus the Archfiend. So for 4 and 2 black, get a legendary creature, Devil God. It has Binding Contract. If you would draw a card, exile the top card of your library face down instead. For triple black, you draw 7 cards. And for a single black, return all cards exiled with Asmodeus the Archfiend to their owner's hand, and you lose that much life. Everything comes at a price when it comes to Asmodeus. Alright. We've got our commons here. We've got a Trickster's Talisman and Divine Smite. And our rare is another Hobgoblin Bandit. This is the last pack, folks. I hope you've been enjoying yourself so far. But let's end up with a bang. Let's roll a nat 20 and end up with a bang, shall we? Alright, so we've got our commons here. Got a Blink Dog and a Rust Monster as our uncommons. And our rare is a Mythic Rare Wildcard. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter. Links are down below. You can also find us at the Planeswalker Pantheon, where we try to put content up there as much as we can. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you later.